I want my legacy to be a healthy forest for my grandchildren.
I want to see more animals in the woods.
I want a strong economy and jobs.
I would like to see the day where there are enough trees for every bird to have a home.
My father passed this land on to me. I care about preserving this land.
I want us to be able to breathe fresh air and drink clean water.
I want a place to hunt, fish, and go camping.
We care. It's our future.
It all starts with just one seedling.
It all starts with just one seedling. There are more than 167 million acres in Texas, and more than a third of them are forested. This means trees are a big part of what makes this state great. Forest and woodland areas provide many benefits. They help clean the air we breathe and the water we drink. They provide homes for wildlife and help reduce erosion. They even provide us with places for recreation and sanctuary. Forests are also important to the economy. Commercial timberland in East Texas produces $5.7 billion worth of goods and services, supporting more than 22,000 jobs. It's so important to keep our forests healthy. Managing the state's trees and forests, as well as the benefits they provide, rests in the hands of millions of Texans, with roughly 94% of the forest land in Texas being privately owned. Texas A&M Forest Service helps property owners develop and implement long-term land management plans, often including tree planting.
Planting seedlings in a rural setting is different than planting a shade tree or a landscape tree in your yard. Rural plantings involve hundreds of seedlings planted over many acres. These types of plantings are conducted for landowners to be able to achieve specific management goals, such as to generate income, increase wildlife habitat, or further conservation reasons. Rural plantings, when done by hand, require specialty tools, such as a planting shovel that can be used to plant both containerized and bare root trees, a plug planter that's used exclusively for planting containerized seedlings, a hodad, which is used for planting bare root trees in rock or rough ground, and finally, the dibble bar, which is the most common device used for planting trees in Texas. It can be used for planting both bare root and containerized trees. There are two types of seedlings that you can plant on your property, and they can come in either hardwood or pine varieties. They can come in either a bare root seedling or a containerized seedling. The bare root seedling not having any soil on the root system, and a containerized plug that will actually have a soil plug surrounding the actual root system. The type of planting method for both of these is the same, but what will matter is the depth at which you plant them. For a bare root seedling, you'll be planting up to the root collar, which is a slight swelling in the actual tree above the roots but below the foliage. On a containerized plug, you will actually plant to the top of the soil plug medium. Typically, the seedlings you receive that are containerized seedlings will show up without any type of sleeve covering the root container. If you do receive a seedling with a sleeve over it, you will want to gently remove that tree from the sleeve to make it available to plant. When you receive your trees, you will want to inspect them for any type of defects. Broken tops, discoloration, dead top seedlings, significant missing soil actually located on the tree itself, even a foul odor that can give you indication that the seedling is decaying. We'll show you the proper planting method for any tool you'll use. Today we're going to use the dibble bar. Let's get started. The proper procedure for planting a containerized seedling using a dibble bar starts with making the first insertion with the dibble bar level with the ground. You will then pull back on the dibble bar. This will actually create a V in the ground, allowing you to take this seedling and place it in the ground. You will want to push the seedling into the ground to where it is flush with the top of the ground. 6 inches behind the actual opening, you will insert the dibble bar in the ground again, closing the bottom of the hole, then pushing to close the top of the hole. Next, you will use your foot to heel in the soil around the root collar. This will pack down the top layer of soil. As with any seedling that you plant, you'll want to go ahead and give it a good firm tug to make sure it's secure in the ground and doesn't wiggle out. That's a properly planted seedling. Planting bare root seedlings is similar to planting containerized trees. Once again, bare root seedlings do not have a soil plug located around the base of the roots. The item to note is the depth of the planting of the seedling, as well as when you plant the seedling, making sure to not L-root or J-root the terminal stem on the seedling when you place it in the hole. The process is the same as far as planting the trees though, and it's very similar. We will once again use the dibble bar to make the first insertion, and we will pull the dibble bar back to create that V hole. The seedling is then placed in the ground up to the root collar and pulled up slightly to prevent the J or the L rooted seedling at the base. Insert the dibble bar into the soil about 6 inches from the V-gap and gently push forward, sealing the V-gap. Once again, you will heel in the closing hole to secure the seedling, followed by pulling on the seedling to make sure that it's securely in the ground. And that's it. You've just successfully planted a seedling. Of course, if you're a landowner, you may have a lot of other questions that may need to be answered. Where to plant, when to plant, how many seedlings to plant. All of these questions can be answered by your professional forester or resource professional. They will help you with seedling care, planting the trees, and guiding you through the whole process to a successful outcome.
A professional forester or a natural resource professional can answer these questions and help ensure your planting is successful. They can also instruct you on proper handling, caring, and storage of your seedlings. Please visit tfsweb.tamu.edu for a list of service providers. If you are interested in planting larger seedlings or trees around your home, please visit texastreeplanting.tamu.edu for planting and caring instructions. Managing the state's trees and forests and all the benefits they provide is a big job, but it all starts with just one seedling.